just outside the nation's capital, in a little corner of the Chesapeake Bay, is our planet's future. Here, the year is 2100. And for the last 2 decades, this has been a second home to Gary Peresta.
I have a piece of tape on the pipe so I know how far to down to pound it.
This home is part of the Smithsonian Environmental Research Center. How do you stay out here doing this for 20 years?
Oh, I love it. This is my office. There's not a better place to work.
His work involves reading the environment's tea leaves, or salt marsh leaves to be more precise. Leaves growing in dozens of pretty low-tech time machines. These translucent tents, they are the latest twist in the longest-running carbon dioxide experiment in the entire world. They simulate what our climate might be like 90 years into the future.
Inside this chamber, the atmosphere, the carbon dioxide concentration of the atmosphere is what the whole marsh will be growing in at the end of the century.
You found the level and you just keep pumping in CO2 to maintain that level.
That's right.
The level of CO2 Pat McGonigal's referring to is just about double the carbon dioxide we have in the air right now. That's where the world's leading climate scientists expect us to be by the year 2100. By raising carbon dioxide levels that high, the Smithsonian team can then track how our Earth will respond to change, respond to what we, humans, are doing to our planet.
Now, isn't that something that we all learn in our first biology class, that carbon dioxide is good for plants? Of course, they're going to grow more.
Well, yes and no. I mean, we know that plants need carbon dioxide, but it wasn't clear at first whether giving them more carbon dioxide would do anything. And indeed it does. It acts like a nutrient. It acts like fertilizer.
Yes, but it is also a pollutant, so let's be clear about this. Doubling our current CO2 levels will help certain plants grow. Poison ivy, for one, will apparently thrive. But that could also bring higher temperatures and longer droughts, changes for the worse, changes that are already underway.
One thing that I like about this picture, though, too, is you can see the species shift that I was talking about. You can see this is all grass. And now you see that the sedges are all moved in there.
That shift, Peresta is showing me, happened over the last 17 years. But the very same picture, it's proof that not everything here changes as quickly as the artificial climate. Do you recognize the beard? If not, well, then the University of Tennessee hat should be a dead giveaway. Did that kid know what he was getting into?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I already, you know. This is, you know, the basic kind of stuff we're doing. We got a measuring stick, you know, and
predating Peresta and his old equipment, the research material itself. These soil samples, they date back to the early 18th century.
So this marsh has the ability to grow upward, and as it does, you can see that it's storing carbon.
It's a carbon sink, essentially.
Yeah, it's a carbon sink. Everything that's brown in here was gas in the atmosphere that the plants took out, and then when they died, it got buried.
But our current carbon pollution, the exhaust from our cars, the emissions from most of our electricity generation, the Earth has never seen man-made carbon emissions like this. And we're polluting our planet with a lot more than just carbon emissions. So even if more CO2 is good for plants.
Nitrogen pollution, which we're worried about in the Chesapeake Bay and other estuaries around the world, tends to have the opposite effect.
So it's almost a set of scales that are balancing each other?
Right. If we keep the estuaries clean, then the elevated CO2 may actually help the marsh build soil. If the estuaries become polluted with nitrogen, then that benefit from carbon dioxide is cut down in half or so.
Seems like there's an equal chance we could have more carbon in the atmosphere or less carbon in the atmosphere by the end of the century, right?
Oh no, we'll have more carbon in the atmosphere.
It's a guarantee at this point.
Yeah. There's. I'll put the house on that one. How's that going?
Of course, McGonigal and Peresta won't be around to collect on that bet, but their hope, the reason for their research, it's that we'll all be a bit better prepared for the climate path that lies ahead.
It's a beautiful office.
Yeah, and usually it's just me. I like that.